Hello friends, my name is V. I live in beautiful Charleston, South Carolina with my puppy Cindy, and this channel is about learning all things homemaking, adulting, and running a household basically. Now, the key word here is learning, which is what inspired this video. The other day, I made a loaf of bread. I've been using my bread machine for a while now. I use basically the same recipe every time, and at this point, I generally feel like I know what I'm doing. I've tried a couple of different recipes, and I finally found one on TikTok of all places that works and typically makes a nice, fluffy, big loaf of bread every single time. And I've been making it forever. So yesterday I decided to make bread as usual. I was out, I needed more. I made it with the exact same recipe I always use. But then I opened the bread machine and found this. But I wasn't gonna let it go to waste. So I took my dense little brick and made croutons. And with the remaining loaves, I made this garlic toast in the air fryer, and it worked out perfectly fine. I still don't really know what happened. I think my water might have been too hot, or I used too much flour, or maybe a mix of both. But yes, I ate it anyway and found a way to use it because flour is expensive. But while I was staring at my bread failure, I started thinking about how much of homemaking is basically just this. Sometimes you try something new and it works out beautifully, and other times it absolutely does not. The more homemaking skills I learn, the more I realize that the people who seem like they just know how to do things probably know because at some point they screwed it up too. No one emerges from the womb knowing that your water can apparently be too hot for bread machine yeast, or that the way you cook your milk can create grainy yogurt, or that if you substitute one ingredient for another that you think are basically the same thing, turns out they're not basically the same thing and it is not fine. You learn because one day you make a bread brick, and then you know for next time not to do that. There are obviously things we can learn from other people. I am a huge believer in reading the instructions and watching tutorials, asking questions, and taking advice from people who know more than I do. But there are certain things that you can't learn without actually doing them. You can read 10 articles about bread, watch someone make bread, follow their recipe down to the teaspoon, and your loaf can still come out looking like mine did. There are sometimes variables you didn't account for, and that's where the learning actually happens. For me, homemaking has been such good exercise for getting comfortable with failure. Because most of these failures are incredibly low stakes. Sometimes you have ugly bread or grainy yogurt, or your plant dies, or your DIY project looks a little wonky. But now you know. And now you try something else, and you learn from those mistakes. And eventually something that used to require a tutorial becomes something you can do without even thinking about it. I think that growing up works the same way. There's this weird expectation that at some point in our adulthood, we're supposed to just know what we're doing. Managing money, building a career, having healthy relationships. But I've made choices in my life that I would never make now. And it's easy to look backwards with the knowledge I have now and think, how did I not know that? But how would I have? The person I am now gets to have all of the information those earlier versions of me collected. Of course I know more now, that's the whole point. And that's okay. I've stopped treating every failed experiment like it says something terrible about myself, because a beautiful life does have some bad batches sometimes. It is built through a ridiculous amount of experimentation. You try recipes, hobbies, relationships, routines. Some things become part of your life forever, and some things only work for that season. You are constantly learning what works in your particular kitchen with your particular ingredients in your particular life. Sometimes you get a perfect loaf, and sometimes you get a bread brick. Either way, you know a little more than you did before. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, friends.